We are in West Palm Beach. James and I came down. We met obviously with Brian. Since we were coming down, we figured let's kill a couple birds with one stone, right? Yeah. So Brian lives in Boca. He drove up. We're hanging out. We hung out yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're also meeting. Have been meeting with these guys from a company called Concussion Media. They're in the industry as well. They do some other things. And so in this video, we're going to do a video with Concussion and those guys a little later. But for this video, just wanted to basically, bring Brian into a video. I haven't seen Brian since what, like 2009 or something like that?
5 years, man, since I moved here.
Yeah, but before that, I don't think I'd really seen you for a couple of years before he came here.
No.
But it's been a while. It's been a long time, but obviously
we work together.
Yeah, I mean we do business, and you don't need to live next to people like to obviously make money and do this stuff. Like if people think, oh, James, lives near Phil, so that's why he's successful. Brian's just as successful. Actually, Brian's more successful, with the business. Been doing it for 2.5 years.
I've been doing it pretty much just a few months after you started, whatever it was.
And I haven't even, this is the first time I've seen him since I started the business, over 3 years ago now. Yeah. So it doesn't matter, but
it also speaks to the power of being able to work from anywhere. Like
you
that work from anywhere. It's my first time meeting Brian. It's been a pleasure.
Although I see him videos every day.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like I know you.
Hey, same here. It's the craziest thing. So it's all good. But that's the thing about working from anywhere, working from home. You can be successful and just don't quit and really do a good job at it. So it's been great.
Yeah, it's cool.
And that's the whole idea of working with the Jams.
Yeah.
I get up every day and I just go to my computer and that's it.
Yeah.
Work.
It's a much better commute. Dealing with the Long Island Expressway.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of traffic here too.
I'm in 95.
But yeah, no, I mean we just figured we'd make a video where anything, there's so many questions that people ask over, the same questions that multiple people ask, obviously, like the common questions, frequently asked questions. So I really had no idea what we were going to talk about in this video. We just turned the thing on. But why don't you, since Brian, as you guys know, or whoever does know Brian, he communicates with everyone more than anybody else. So why don't you give some of the common questions that you get? You can answer them.
One of the most frequent questions is how long is it going to take me to make money? And I tell everybody the same thing. There's no way for me, Phil, James, or anybody to know how long it's going to take you to make money. Basically because number one, we don't know you. We don't know your work ethic. We don't know if it's going to take you a month to even open up the program. Everybody's different. So I can tell you this, that if you actually do the work, you can make money in the first, 2, 3, or 4 weeks. That's if you do the work. I mean, James is a testament right here. We did a case study with him. And how long did it take you to start making money?
11 days.
11 days. We have one person, I think, that posted up in our group. He did 6 deals in his first month. We have somebody who made $7,500 in his first 3 weeks. So, I mean, all I can say is it's up to you. That question is definitely up to you. So that is probably the most frequently asked question. And then there's also a question of is this a scam? Well, obviously, if it's a scam, then we're scamming ourselves because we do this every day. This is what we do. So it's not a scam. And another question is that people go, it's going to saturate. Let me tell you one thing. There's so many businesses on Facebook. If it was going to saturate, we'd be hurting ourselves by having everybody else do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because we'd be saturating ourselves. So we know the business will not saturate. So that's another question.
Well, the thing about going to that is not everyone does Facebook, number one, right? We don't even recommend that you do paid marketing. I mean, James started with Facebook, but he actually doesn't really, I'm sure he does Facebook a little bit, but LinkedIn is his main thing now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just because we say, hey, here's the strategies, that doesn't mean that every single person is going to do everything that we tell them to do. Everyone's going to, write their own story, basically, right? You carve your own path, whatever you want to say. But, that's what James did, right? He basically said, this is cool, it works, but, I kind of like this a little better, and it is what it is, and there's people out there that use their own networks and use a local network, or some people that love Craigslist. I mean, there's so many different things. So you just got to use whatever feels comfortable to you, so you can, obviously run your own company. We're here to guide you. We're not here to tell you what to do, right? We're just saying all this stuff works, right? And you just pick and choose whatever works for you. So what else you got?
So another question I get is, what kind of support are you going to give me? Like, what if I have a question? So we have set up a private Facebook group that you get put into once you join. In that group, you can ask any question that you want. Either one of us will answer you, or believe it or not, somebody in the group may answer you even before we even see it.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you're still not satisfied, you can send us an email and we'll get back to you, fairly quickly with an email. So everybody gets the support that they need. And that's basically, some of the most frequently asked questions that people want to know. Another question is, they're going to be like, how do I know I can do this? And I answer them, well, if you follow the directions and follow everything step by step, because you're going to have modules. You follow every module from module 1 all the way down to module, I believe it's module 7. If you follow that step by step and don't skip, I tell everybody, don't skip any modules. Even if you think you know it, watch it anyway. Don't skip it. When we show you how to make the website, there's a reason we show you how to make the website a certain way. I've had people come to me, they go, I built my own website, I wanted to make it look a little better. So I built my own website. So I go, well, what's the web address? I go and look at it on my phone. Because remember, everybody, everything's 95% mobile.
Yes.
I go, scrolling down, I'm like, where's your form? And right on the bottom of the page, there's a little thing that says contact us. So I click on that, and it's just a space for a name and an email address. Guys, that's not the way this works, man. You need to have the form pop up first. The questions we have on the form are the things that need to be answered. And you need to follow the directions. So that's why I say, if you're going to make this work, if you follow everything step by step, it will work and it will make money.
Yeah, you just can't quit. I've done things in the past that didn't work for me, and it really wasn't something I wanted to do, right? So you take what you learned from it and you move on, and whatever experience anybody has in life, whether you have experience or even no experience, as long as you just don't quit and you say. So another question that people say is, how much time do I need to put into
Right,
this?
yes.
There's certain questions that people ask that we realize that instantly, because you asked that question, that you've never ran a business before, which is totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can tell by the questions that people ask. And I just like an overview here of entrepreneurship. You can't go into a business and basically think that you're going to make money in X days. You're going to make, you have to work so many hours a day or a month to make money. Realistically, those questions are what you ask an employer, right? You go into a job interview, you say, hey, how many hours do I have to work a day? Okay, and how much money am I going to make? All right, cool. That works, right? When you own a business, your efforts are going to come down to your success. I mean, that's it. Right. So as long as you follow everything and you do the work and you don't quit and you put the time and effort into it, because not everything's going to happen as quickly as you think. Maybe it will. There's plenty of people that have, but maybe it won't. You can't go into it saying, all right, I'm just going to put 2 weeks into it. When you start a business, that has to be, the best way to phrase it is, I'm going to go into a business and I am going to do whatever it takes to be successful. So don't ask all those questions, just say that to yourself. Exactly. I am going to do whatever it takes to be successful, because this is the type of business that can, you can make 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. It's possible, because just like most businesses, it's just how many people do you talk to? So if you close 20 deals a month, at $2,000 a deal,
it's $100,000.
That's a lot of money. Not really, that's $100,000.
40,000.
So
okay, you can tell why.
So
I felt bad.
So basically, it's just simple numbers, right? And that's pretty much anything is just law of averages, or you hit a critical mass, you know, whatever it is. I remember, I met Brian in around '05, and we were just talking about this before. And when he first, he basically was doing home-based businesses. And I'm like, really, people do this stuff? Like, people actually like work from home and make money online and whatever? He's like, yeah, man, it works. I'm like, all right, you know, let me try this. So I understand when you don't have, when you just think it's like, oh crap, you're like, there's just no way that this can work. So when I met him and he tells me this, the only reason why I did it is because I met him in person, and I'm like, all right, I'll
I remember that at the diner.
Yeah, Lake Grove diner.
Lake Grove
Oh,
diner.
yeah, really?
And so we
That's an inside joke.
so we basically I lost my train of thought there.
Matt, you talked about the business?
The business.
Yeah.
Doing that time?
So I started the business up, and I think it was like October of the year. Around that time is when I finally started doing it, because I did postcards and stuff like that.
You're still like cranking though. You killed it.
Oh yeah. Well, but
Then we started doing conference calls.
wait a second. There's more. Now, so when I first started, I think it was October. October went by, right? I put all the time and effort into it. It was happening, right? I was working the business, I should say. You know, we did the postcards. Now, listen, I would never recommend doing postcards today. I'm not saying to do that, but back then that was a thing. In that business anyway. So, got the calls, and I'm talking to people, talking to as many people as I can. Then November comes along, same thing. December comes along, and I'm like, man, nothing happened. You know, nothing's happened in the last 2, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. Beginning of December comes along, and I say, I stopped. I was like, hey, you know what? I don't really think this is gonna work. So then I remember it was like December 27th. And I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll just start, putting more time into this. I've already put 2 months or 2.5 months into it. Let me just put a little bit more time into it, and let me just see. Then all of a sudden, January 1st, someone calls me, this guy from, I think it was Iowa, I forget his name now, called me up and he goes, hey man, I want to join. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you seriously, you gonna do this? Like, I'm like, are you, like, really? So then
500.
that was a 500. So I made 500 on my first one. So I made $500. Then the next day, because it took the guy a day, right? So I didn't really get the money until like January 2nd. And then another guy calls me, and then I'm like, then that was like 1,500. And then I think like another day passed. So I think in the first month, I think I did 12, 13, or 14 grand. I made a marathon.
Yeah, I saw that.
Made this video way back in the day. So I made like 12, 13, 14 grand in the first month. And when I think about it, if I quit after that 8 weeks when I really did want to, nothing would have happened. And then that business, my second month, I did like over 20 grand and then 30 grand, and it happened. So the key is don't quit. You don't know, every business requires a critical mass, right? And if you don't know what that means, that basically means that in that business, I had to basically hit or talk to, 100 people or 200 people or 300, whatever it is, to start getting those people in, because there's always a sales cycle. Right. And especially with this type of e-learning that we're doing today, the sales cycle on average, I would probably say, is somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks. Plenty of people joined right away, and there's plenty of people that joined in like 3, 4, 6 months down the road. I mean, I see people, some guy just joined right before we did this, as this video. What is it, November?
November.
Yeah. It was like November. But this other guy is joining. I mean, that guy's been on my list since, because I have a list for going back a long time. This guy joined, my list years ago. I mean, literally years ago. So when you look at the overall average, it probably sits somewhere between a week or two that people kind of, so there's a sales cycle. That's what I'm getting at. But that's business, and the reason why we have these videos and we say this stuff, because so the people who don't have business experience, like when we met with those guys at the other company that we're meeting here, see, when we have a conversation with them about this stuff, they, they finish the sentence, you know what I mean? They know the answers, they understand it, they get it, you know what I mean? So there's no explaining. But for people that never ran a business, we understand. So we're just trying to give you that knowledge.
And we know that everybody's ability is different.
Exactly.
Right.
So what one person can do in a week, it might take you 2 or 3 weeks, like you were saying, or 4 or 5. But just remember, you guys always have the training in front of you for a lifetime. You join, you have it. So no matter how long it takes you, you need to just put the effort in, and eventually, if you do it and do it right, you will start to make money. It'll just start to happen. And believe me, what happens, for some reason, once you get that first deal done, they just all of a sudden start to flow in, and you're like, holy mackerel.
If I can add something to that, specifically what Phil was talking about, and I know, Brian, you talk to most of the people. When I've done calls, we have a variety of people that do this business. Some people are all in, full time. This is the business they're starting.
Right.
Others are looking at it more as a supplemental business to maybe they're working full time, they want to leave their job. And both scenarios can work very well. The thing about what Phil is saying is you need to dedicate the time on a consistent basis. This is a business, you have to treat it as such, because you got to make sure that you want to achieve the goals of making money, whatever that number is. But if you put the time and effort in on a regular basis and just continue down that path, whether it be, okay, I'm going to work this business 5 hours a day, 3 hours a day, whatever it is, I'm going to make 10 calls today, I'm going to contact this, I'm going to go to a networking group once a week, whatever that is, stick to it. Don't quit, like Phil says, just keep at it. And if you're doing this on a full-time basis, you really could have more time to dedicate. But the other thing is, you're a business owner. If you've never owned a business before, it is definitely a different experience than being an employee. And when Phil says about how much time do you have to put in, the other thing that that Phil talks a lot about is building a business around the lifestyle that you want to live. So that's key too, but you can only do that with entrepreneurship. Like, for example, I know Phil's a big family man, as am I, so what I try to do is I get my kids on the bus, I make them breakfast, then I go to the gym. I go to the gym in the morning, so I want to do that and get started with my day later on. But I do that because I know later on I'm going to maybe put more time in, or I'm checking my emails while I'm making breakfast for the kids. But you can do that when you're an entrepreneur, when you understand you're putting the time in, you're making sure you're putting that effort forward. But it's not like you turn it off. You're always going to have to want to be investing in your business, because at the end of the day, like you were saying, like Brian was saying, these deals start flowing in. And once you start doing one, you're going to understand what it takes to do the next one, and you'll be that much more adept at doing it. The training's there. You can always go back to any of the modules if you didn't fully understand something. And the Facebook group is really powerful because, like Brian said, you learn from other people. There might be other people at the same level that you're at. Maybe they only did one deal. Maybe they haven't done any deals, but they're asking questions, and you can learn from them. And there's sometimes they get to the questions faster than any of us can, which is amazing, because it just shows you how many people are doing this and making it work and making money at it. And that can be you too. So it's just a great opportunity. And these are just some commonly questions that you've heard. It's been great being here, West Palm Beach, with Brian and Phil here. It's great weather we're having here. So it's just been a great time. This is a really good thing.
And so you guys know, I always, every week or so, or a couple days, I'm always putting up a video or two with different tips. I give you guys ebooks every once in a while on different things that might help you. So there's all kinds of stuff that get put up in that group that will help.
Yeah, it's about trying to build a community, right? Just everyone helps each other, and that's it, right? A common goal, right? This one is just make money or live the lifestyle that you want to live, whatever it is that you want out of this. Everyone wants something different, right? So for me, it's just travel, hang out. We're here. I'm going. Just the ability to do this trip, like all this stuff, obviously costs money, right? To do this stuff, to go around, meeting the other guys. Like again, we'll make another video on what we're trying to do with them, but it costs money to do this stuff. So for me, you got to make money, then you got to obviously, build the business for what you want to do. But for me, doing this trip, we're going to San Diego next week for a conference. We're going to Vegas March 4th for another conference. I'm going skiing this week. I'm taking my kids to the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards at the end of next month. Then I'm going to Turks and Caicos. Then we're trying.
Have another trip.
So his trip for the week, and then we're booking more trips. So for me, it's all about spending time with my kids, going on vacation, so they have a much better childhood and life than I had. My vacation was driving down to Virginia Beach every year, and I don't think I went on a plane until I was like 15.
Me neither.
13.
My trip was once I went to the Catskill Game Farm.
It's the first time I heard that in a long time. But what do you
I'm
care about?
very much like you. I'm just trying to build a life now for myself and my children where they can have the finer things in life and experiences. And also I want to take care of myself a little more. So for me, it's also goal driven around family and looking for that next thing. So it's been great. For me, it's a lot of the control of time and the stress. I mean, you know how it was for me being in business before with employees and overhead and all that stuff. And it's just not even having that. It's such a huge weight lifted from my shoulders. It's fantastic. And just being able to work for myself at home by myself and it's tremendous. So for me, it's more about gaining back time for myself to go out and do things and have a good time.
Yeah, it's funny because when I, you wake up in the morning one day, kind of like today, and you just don't feel like moving, right? You ever had one of those days? It may just be, you partied really hard the night before, or maybe you just don't feel well, or maybe you just, have one of those Monday mornings that you just don't feel like getting out of bed because you had a good weekend, whatever the case may be. When you're doing your own business, working from home in your jams, you don't have to get up. You can just hang out. There's no one, knows no boss to tell you what to do. There's no employees to tell you what to do. And even if you had employees, then I can tell you what to do.
That's true.
But even if you had employees, you don't have to worry about them. It's like, I gotta tell it, get up to do that. I always liked having a one employee company. I just don't have to answer anybody, right? And just don't have to deal with anybody. That's just me. But to be able to just do what you want when you want, and that's it. Like, it's amazing. That's why when I met Brian back in the day, that was my original goal was, all right, let me work from home, let me figure it out, let me start that. And I started that. I didn't even know what I was going to do, but ended up doing that. And then that, over the last 12, 13 years, whatever it's been, has come into this. So it's just been a journey, for me. And it's just, now it's like, all right, let me show other people on how to do this journey on their own and, do what they want to do.
What's cool, man? You're sharing that story of how you first met with Brian and how you saw that first experience about working from home. And I'm sure some people are listening and being like, wow, you can fully relate to people who are like, oh, there's no way you could kind of make that money working from home. And you said the same thing. Yeah, you said the same thing. You met with Brian, and that's the thing. It's like, if you guys are watching this, and it's different because obviously you met Brian and you did that and you made it work. And the thing is, we bring you these videos to show you that we are here together. We're learning from each other. And yeah, you might have that thought, oh, it can't work, or maybe not. And sometimes
or it's easy for them.
It's easy for them. That's the other thing, right? Yeah.
Well, think about it. I met Phil in 2005.
Right.
That's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
We're
13.
still working 13.
Yeah.
I meant my failed math.
It was 7 months ago.
We're still working together, and it's 2018.
Right. Yeah.
12 years
So
later.
just think about that.
Look at that.
First day I met you in Medina,
Yeah.
and here we are.
Yeah.
That's
And
great.
the thing
That's
about
great,
that,
man.
if you think about it, and for those of you
that.
who work, for those of you who work in corporate America, only now are any real corporations allowing flex time or work at home. When it's very different. I know my brother; he has opportunity once every blue moon to work from home, and for him, that's a huge treat. For me, I do it every day. I'm like, I'm like, oh, I had a rough morning at the office. I had to jump over my clothes from the night before, or something like that. I make fun of it because it's just fun to say that to him, and that's the thing. So just keep that in mind. It's just definitely a freedom of control and the time that you will have, and just the comfort of working in jams is great. You know, that's the best thing too. I
It's
used to wear a
funny.
suit and tie. It's crazy.
It's funny because you've been working from home for a long time. How long have you been working from home for?
Probably since around 2001, maybe 2005, 2003.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and what was the first business that you did from home?
What I was doing when you met me.
Oh, the same thing.
Wow.
Okay. And all right. So, how did you find that?
Actually, it wasn't exactly that. It was something else called Cash Masters.
Oh, that's right.
How did you find that?
I got a booklet in the mail, and
Wow.
I just read through it, and I just followed the
So
directions.
he's one of those people, which I got.
Right, so just think about it. I read through
I
it,
would
followed
never
the
do that.
directions. I followed the directions, just like you guys have to do. I just followed the directions, and all of a sudden I had money coming to my
But
house.
tell them exactly what you did, though.
Okay, so I have a little, health problem. Doctors tell me I can't work. I get this booklet in the mail. I'm pretty much, running out of money, not knowing what I'm gonna do. I read the booklet. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. It says, take this booklet, mail it out to 2,000 people, and all of a sudden you start getting all this money coming in the mail. Lo and behold,
Is that really what it said?
And he did it.
What?
the
2,000
book
people?
actually
Who
said.
does that? I'm saying this. Who does that?
Listen, the book actually said. The guy goes, "Hi, my name is Mark B. M. Stosh, and I am a billionaire. And I became a billionaire by following these simple principles that I'm going to show you in this booklet." And then I just followed it.
All right. So you followed it. You got 2,000 postcards.
I got 2,000 booklets. They were booklets.
Oh my God.
And what you just mailed the booklet
I
out.
mailed the booklets out, and all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, the company started sending me $100 bills in the mail.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, the next week, I got 3,000. And I got to the point where I made, like, in the first, 6 months, never doing anything by mailing out 2,000 booklets, I made like $150,000.
Wow.
By mailing out 2,000
That's
booklets.
insane.
Because not from the 2,000 people, because the 2,000 people,
They did
some
the
of them
same thing.
did
They
more,
all followed the
and
same
you kept.
plan, right?
Wow.
So I mean, listen, we're not advocating this type of business.
But that's
whatever.
that's what
That
we
is
do
what it
now.
is.
But that's how it started. It was different back then. There was no internet back then. There wasn't
But
Facebook.
that's incredible. Just
I know, I'm not.
It's all
it's
different.
it's
the
just think about
foresight
it.
to try it out. You didn't even see a video. You read something. It was wow.
But
That's
how many
incredible.
people
they're
would do that?
Not many,
A
but the
very
ones
small
that do.
percentage, but at 2,000,
But that's all you need.
I know, that's what I'm
Successful.
saying.
Yeah. The
So-
ones that do get rewarded. Wow.
That's why you can
funny.
understand when he told me what he was doing at the time, which
Right.
is something different.
Right.
I'm like, people do that? Number one, people do that. And number two, you do it? And people,
Right.
really? Like, seriously? So that's why I was just like, so I understand when people see like something like what we're doing online and they're like, yeah, no, people can really make money. But the difference is we actually have a real business.
Right, that's what I was just gonna say. I don't know if I received something like that in the mail today,
Yeah.
even if I would do
I still wouldn't do it. Today, I still wouldn't do it.
I was almost
I tell him to do it. I'm like, you try this out. This is your world. Let me know if it works.
Yeah, in terms of like this is a business. It's a legitimate business. I mean, there are big players in this game. Like so, it's not like it's nothing new. This is just your business. We're just bundling and showing you the success that Phil's had and giving it all to you. It's step by step, just like that book thing. But this is a business.
That's funny because for a long time since '05, we've tried where we did the original stuff, and then we tried a whole sorts like multi-level marketing programs, network. I mean, whatever you can think of, pretty much we tried that type of business. And I always said to you for so long, I said,
It always changes.
well, no,
Shut
it always
down.
changes, but I always want to tell you, I always told you, I'm like, I just want to provide somebody with like real business, not one of these, MLMs or, some sort of vitamin or
Right.
whatever it is, like Monavie or something like that, or Great Life International we did for a little while.
Oh, with the
Right?
rice.
I just wanted to do a real bit. I wanted to provide someone like a real business. So I came out with something, in 08, which you know about, did that for a while. Well, that's still going. I actually had someone just buy that today, actually. But anyway, but this business is, now we want to do many businesses, right? We want to show people how to do things in different ways. Like right now we have become a small business consultant and loan broker. Learn how to generate your own leads using free marketing, Facebook marketing, whatever. We're going to come out with how to become just a lead generator. I want to do how to become a lead broker. There's a lot of different ways that we can show you how to make money, and each thing that we come up with is going to pertain to someone different. We have with the guys down here, we're coming out with
Something a little different.
something else with them, so we'll talk about that later. So I've always wanted to do that. So now for me, it's all about timing, right? So now for me is the right time, you know, and it's just people just don't realize on how, and I hate to say the word easy, but I guess I should say it's just a lot easier today to make money from home, working for yourself, because realistically, right, how much money does the average person need to survive? Just to survive, right? So the average salary in the country is 30 grand a year. After taxes, I don't know how much taxes are on 30 grand, but let's just say, that's 36 grand a year. So let's just say you walk home with 30 grand. I don't really know the numbers, but let's just say you walk home with 30 grand. So is that 2,500 a month? Ask him, he knows.
Yeah.
So let's just call it 2,500 bucks a month, right? So that means the average person in this country pretty much makes $2,500 a month. So you take that person, you say, all right, how can I make $2,500 a month working from home, right? Online, whatever. And it almost becomes a joke.
Right.
I mean, to make that much money, I mean, I hate to compare myself to people, and because I don't want you to look at me and say, oh my God, he makes this much money, I'll never get there. I never thought I'd make this much money where I'm at today either. But when I first started, I remember when I first started, I told myself, man, if I could just make $2 grand a month. That's the way I was thinking when I first started. Go back to 05.
You got to where you made. What did you make? Let's see, you said 11, 12 grand in the first month.
The first month I think it 13.5. I think my first month. But it took me 3, 4. It took me October, November, December, January. So it took me 4 months to get there. Again. But yeah, so you to make $2,500 a month, just to you got to understand. It's not like I want to get to $2,500 a month and stop. Just to get there so you can live, pay your bills, whatever, and then grow. So take this loan brokering. On average, you're gonna make $2 grand a deal. So even if you only did one a week, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's really not. If you just did one a week, you're making 4 times almost 4 times what you would need to make. Making $8 grand a month. That's insane.
That's $100,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's
exactly
104,000. See,
yeah,
you got that one right.
And if you own a business, and do your taxes correctly, then you're probably not going to pay any money in taxes, or very, very little. Put it this way, you're going to pay a lot less in taxes than you ever will as an employee, because that's guaranteed money coming out of your pocket, right? But when you own a business, it's a different world. So that's what people don't understand. But so if you have a job, you start it and you figure it out and just put the time in. If you don't have a job and you want to just do something, then do it. If your goal is to quit your job, that's fine too. Whatever it is, So anyway, we've talked for 33 minutes.
Oh wow!
People are probably like, "I'm like, shut up already."
Anyway, anything else you want to say?
No, I think it's been great.
No, I think it's good, man. It's great seeing these guys together, man.
Same
Yeah,
here.
it's been fun.
Phil looks exactly the same. I look a little older. I'm like the old man of the group. Look, white beard now. Just give me white beard.
White beard.
Oh, good. All right. So we'll make more videos while we're here, but
Yeah.
tomorrow we're supposed to make a boat show.
Yeah, it's in Miami. It's a big boat show apparently.
Slowly. We'll see. We gotta go check out Brian's house. Brian bought another house.
Yeah.
How long have you been in there for? A year?
1 year.
Wow.
Good for
Boca
him.
Raton, Florida.
Good for him.
Good for him.
This
Boca
guy-
Raton, Florida.
He pulls up in a convertible Camaro.
Yeah, definitely. That's cool.
Nice
ride.
SS, man.
Yeah, nice ride.
This
Goes
guy.
from 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds.
Look at this
Who
guy.
beats me, man?
Yeah, he's in Florida. It's sunny all the time.
Yeah, top down, nice.
He's chilling. Who doesn't want to be you?
That's it.
We'll have some salt.
Don't do that. Any package in here? Oh, the salt shaker right
It's a
there.
salt shaker right there. Yeah, we're in the resident. Where are we? The residence in
Marriott.
Marriott in down.
What
This
is
is
this?
considered downtown city place.
This is my West Palm Beach, and this is considered city place.
Yeah, city place downtown. I think it said also whatever in Google Maps. But that's where we're at. It's a 1-bedroom suite, and so it probably looks like we're in a house.
Yeah.
It's like a house.
It looks just like a house.
It looks like a house apartment. Anyway, all right, we're gonna go
Yeah.
and meet up with those other guys. So we'll talk to everyone soon. Any last words?
All good.
Yep, we're all good, man.
Talked out? All right.
See you soon.